So before we actually start working in on the programming side of things, let me go ahead and just show you what the character does. That way we have a nice idea and direction for our goal for this character. The Mario, if you notice, this is the finished character with all the scripts and everything finished off. It's still just this one script right here is the only thing that we added to the character. So again, nice thing about it was we added one script, filled in a few parameters, and then we're able to use it. So it's a nice, quick, get up to speed with it. You could drop it on any character and start using it. For this one, if we were to actually play it, let's go ahead and just start off. Now, this works with the joystick and or the mouse. A little bit of optimizing, and you could easily have this inside a mobile device as well. For us, turn off the gizmo. The character, we'll just go through all the basic things the character can do. The character has an idle turn left and turn right. And right now it's just on the walk animation where he turns left and right. You can actually have an actual turn left and turn right option for him. The character has a walk. Character has a jog. The character has a run. And if you push a button down while he's running, so we push what's currently, I believe it'll be the shift key, he'll go into a sprint stage. Alright, so he currently has the idle motion, he has the walk, the jog, the run, the sprint. So those are all his basic motions. Notice the character's direction is based, the forward direction of the character, it may be difficult to see here, but forward direction of the character starts off based on the camera's forward direction. So for instance, if I move the camera over this way and I push up on the keyboard or I push up on my joystick, he'll actually turn that direction and go that direction. Alright? So this is just going to be, it's a really nice control. It's one that Unity's had before, a lot of examples have done before, but definitely kind of fits into the way the Mario character runs around, or you would expect of a third-person one. Including with this, we also have jumps. The jump key or the space bar, if you push it, he'll do a single jump. The jump itself is actually a time jump. It's a combo, so if you jump once and you jump in time for the second one, he'll do his unique second jump. If you do the first jump and the second jump in time, then he'll do his third jump, which is actually a backflip, and he jumps into that pose. Alright, so this is a triple combo. He gets to have his two jumps into his third high jump. Alright, he also has, if you notice, he'll have a fall animation. He also has a landing. The landing isn't actually placed in. It's one of the ones that you can actually add extra to it. These are going to be the basic movements of the character. For the character to kind of stop and say like he's going to crouch, you can actually push C, or you can push the button on the keyboard, the joystick, and he'll crouch. He'll go into an idle state, crouching. You can actually rotate him while he's crouching. The crouch itself it can also go from a crouch to a crouch jump. So we can actually just holding the crouch button, push the jump key, and he'll do his back flip from a jump. Alright, so this gives him a crouch and a crouch jump. Alright, now we have a couple other things in terms of interactivity with the character. Those are all the basic movements with the character. Now notice one of the things that's not here is that, for instance, we have the run, and when we stop, we have a little bit of a slowdown. There is a slowdown, but there's no animation to play on it. You could actually set it up so that when you let go of the mouse button, the character goes into kind of a stopping motion. So there's going to be lots of little things that you can do to add to it, but these are going to be some really large pieces to actually go into it. So let's go ahead and push pause for a moment, or just stop the play. The next one that we have is our interactive. The interactive side of it, for instance, the floor collide. If you notice when the character ran around, he actually had particles coming off. That's because the floor itself has a collision particle effect on it. So wherever the collision occurs with the character's little feet, if you remember from last time when we set the character up, character has the foot collision pieces. So what it does is actually trigger this, which spawns a particle where it hits. You could also, which we don't have going right now, you could also add in the sound effect, so it sounds like it's the foot sounds it's running across. This could also be added to each type of floor type, so that when he runs across metal, it could sound like metal. When he's going across wood, it could sound like wood. Alright, the next one that we have the wall jump. Let's go ahead and just drop a piece in here. So for instance, if I actually had a cube, and this is something that that you'll want to do once we start practicing getting these things up, we'll just use a kind of a default scene for it. Any piece, the way that we've set it up for this is that, for instance, this piece right here, all I have to do is tag it. If you notice when you click on the drop down for tag, you'll have one that says wall. You can actually just click on wall, and that automatically makes this object a wall piece. That way, when I'm playing, when I run and jump and push the jump button again, he's going to push off of the wall piece. He has a parameter for how far he jumps from the wall. It's all adjustable on that side of it. This is also tagged the same name, so if you're in with on the character, on the character's controller script, there's actually a jump from object tag, and it's looking for one that the tag name is wall. So you have option of that, and you also have jump from object, which is currently 10. So if you were to set this at 1 or 2, the character wouldn't jump as far. Now the fun part about this, we'll just do this real quick so you can see it, is that the character, if you set the walls close enough together, let's see, we'll put these on these side right here. If you put the pieces here and here, the character can actually go in and do a wall jump back and forth. So when he jumps from here, you can actually have him go up, and he can actually slide as well, so that you can have him sliding down, and then you can have him jump from a different part of the height, so that you can kind of control where he's actually coming from and going. Alright. So that's our wall piece on that one. The next interactive part is going to be the slide. The slide piece, let's say for instance, we have a piece that is, we'll go with a angle around here. We can actually, instead of choosing wall, our tag name can actually be slide. Now the slide itself, as long as I have the tag name slide, and on the Mario character, it's actually looking for a slide tag name of this. The slide threshold and the slide controllable speed, those two options as well control how much of an angle it is before he actually slides, and then how much of a control he has to, the user has to slide left and right while he's going down. For this one though, if I have this tag slide, I have about a 45-degree angle or more to it. Then when the character runs to jump on it, he's actually going to turn around. If you notice that, he turns, and he actually starts to slide down the pad. Alright, so this is great to kind of keep the character boxed in for areas that you don't really want him to be in. It can also be used as just a slide itself to go down. The other part of the slide, so on this one, is that it's just simply based on the name itself, the option there. If I don't have this tag slide, for instance, I have this just untagged, then when I'm on the player, this is just the nice part of the controllable side, I can actually just run up this one. So there's no issues with the character running up it, unless you actually have something or an item of some kind tagged with slide. Alright, so this one slides, and this one walkable. Alright. So we have the slide option there. We also have the, it's going to be basically a head hit, is that when the character gets, if the character is underneath something, for instance, something is just, let's set this to 0, it looks like it would be 360, oops, 180. Oh, 270. Okay. If we have something like this, for instance, and the character, so if the character is underneath something and he jumps, we have it so that his second jump on this one, do you see how it just jumps him right back down? 3 different ways. This one is just a regular jump. This one, when he does his second jump, it hits the head of the object. It causes a collision to occur and forces the character, his velocity to be set to 0 and force him back down. If you do the third jump actually stays up in the air, just so that when the character, instead of being forced down and doing a flip on the ground, he does his flip where he hits, and then he goes back down after that. So it's a nice controllable effect for where the character hits, and you could do it for all 3 states. You could say that if the character hits his head, it actually defaults to a certain animation, maybe it's the first animation, and it just simply goes back down from there. Alright. And that's going to give us our basic interactive type. We're going to have a handful of other ones that we'll do in just a second.